That doesn't make sense. That's not a clear sentence. You see all of those questions that are not answered by the bullet? It took me so long to get the full picture. Huge difference, because now it's specific. Now I know exactly what you did. Now I know the impact of your work because it's a radio campaign. And now I know why it matters, because it was supposed to increase the amount of people who knew about the brand. Woo! Yay! But now let's actually go through some examples of before and after. So let's tie all of this together so that you guys can actually see what does it look like to actually write a good resume versus a resume that is that needed a little love and care that we actually worked on. Okay, and so let's go through that together. So first thing is let's just talk about like the before. Right, so this person was an animation and videography intern. He's actually based in Namibia, and so if you just focus on the top part, they're saying using creativity to develop solutions for advertising solutions. That doesn't make sense. That's not a clear sentence. You're using solutions for solutions. I don't know what you're talking about. Working as a part of a team to provide ideas for artistic direction of commercial campaigns. How many ideas? How many people were on the team? How many people did the commercial reach? How many commercials did you work on? What were the commercials about? You see all of those questions that are not answered by the bullet, right? Number 3, patiently dealing with clients to make changes to provide better quality services. That's actually a pretty good bullet. It lets me know that you're patient, you know client management. Great, but how many clients did you actually work on, and what were the services that you were actually providing? Oh, okay, motion graphics, visual design, filming, and video editing used to deliver artistic execution. Great, but it took me so long to get the full picture. You want to make sure that people are actually getting the picture right head on, okay? So the first thing you'll notice is that we changed the format on this to make it clean. He has the address listed on his first bullet. You don't need to put the address. I don't even think you need to put the city of where you worked, but you can if you have extra space. But if you need to save space, don't be afraid to cut that off, okay? The next thing that we did is we changed the title. You can actually change your titles and get creative on that with your resume. If you feel like there's a better way to more generally communicate what you did. So I would not change your title just to falsely achieve status or to falsify what you actually did. But if people would not fully understand your impact because of a title, you can tweak the title a little bit to make sure that your impact is generally understood, right? And then we also added in the actual team that he worked on the Space Dimensions team. And we made sure to use bolding, right? As well as different typography styles like italics and regular type and bolding to actually emphasize different parts of the resume. So just with changing the style and presentation, it makes it easier to like skim through the resume, because the first thing you see is animator and director, cool. And then your eye scans to Ministry of Health, cool. And then you see September to December 2017. So I just got all the key information that I need just by scanning it in a couple seconds, because I leverage bolding, italics, and typography intentionally. Don't bold everything. Don't type everything. Don't make sure everything's in italics, but use it to emphasize key points, okay? Now let's talk about the actual bullets. Instead of using creativity to develop solutions, we actually talk about how you led the creative direction and you conducted market research for a national radio campaign designed to increase brand awareness. Huge difference, because now it's specific. Now I know exactly what you did. Now I know the impact of your work because it's a radio campaign. And now I know why it matters, because it was supposed to increase the amount of people who knew about the brand. This is what a good resume bullet looks like. The next bullet says, oversaw strategy, which is the thinking, and the execution, which is making sure that everybody can do what they need to do, of a commercial for the Ministry of Health to help them increase awareness of human trafficking. So this is very specific. It's talking about the creative strategy behind the commercial, and it's actually talking about what you're doing on set if you're actually producing commercials, right? And then saying who it's for. It's important to note that this is for the Ministry of Health. So here, we're not quantifying anything. There's no numbers. But it lets you know how important the work is, because we're talking about the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, Arts, and Culture. right? So you can show impact by showing who this work is associated with without necessarily showing what was the actual the numbers involved, okay? And the next thing is we filmed and produced a documentary on entrepreneurship for the Ministry of Education, Arts, and Culture. And then the responsibilities included conducting surveys, voice acting, copywriting, storyboarding, producing, editing, and pitching. This is just such a night and day difference. I don't need to explain it to you guys. You guys see it. If you were the hiring manager, you probably want to hire number 2 a lot more than number 1 because you feel more comfortable in the fact that number 2 can actually deliver on the job, which is what we wanted to do. So specific quantification, showing the impact, and letting people know why you did what you did.